What I want to say is that at that time, in 2014, it was judged possible and justifiable that you could have expenses up to $4,000 a year.
And does that include a $350 oyster dinner in Paris?
That's the one I said. Like I said, all our financial statements have been audited. You know, this one, and that's the only one. If you look, you know, they can go back, and it's always that one that they bring back. They don't bring 10 different examples. That was one example. And then at some point, everybody must say, okay, this was maybe not my best move, you know?
That's Dominique Olivier on this program just about half an hour ago. Dominique Olivier was the president of Montreal's Public Consultation Office for 7 years. She's now president of the executive committee for the city of Montreal. And there are questions about spending while she was running the show at the Public Consultation Office. The leader of Ensemble Montreal, Aref Salem, has openly called for Dominique Olivier's resignation over the matter, and he's on the line. Mr. Salem, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Elias.
So
How are you?
So I'm doing well here. Now, I know you're calling for the resignation of Dominique Olivier, but boy, I'm scratching my head. She's there from 2014 to 2021. Was Ensemble Montreal ran the city for at least 4 of those years. Shouldn't the oversight have been coming from members of your party during that era?
Well, let me tell you one thing. Yes, she was there between 2014 and 2029, but she spent $17,793 for 4 years, including $5,340 in 2019. We're not talking about $17,000 for the 7 years. We're talking about $17,000 for 4 years, including 2019, while the mayor of Montreal, actually, Mrs. Plante, she was there, and she spent only in 1 year $5,340. So, you know, when I saw this revelation of the Bureau d'Enquête, I was really outraged. I was really revolted. And, you know, the thing is, beside following the rules or not, when we are in that position, when we are managing the taxpayers' money, we have to be accountable. And we need probably a frame from the municipality, a frame to know how we spend. But it's the responsibility ethically and morally of the person who's spending the money. And the problem there, we're not talking about the rules and regulation back then. We're talking about me spending the money of taxpayers in a restaurant, in a trips, in somewhere like in Mozambique and all over the world, and saying that this is the main mission of the public consultation. This is not the main mission. The main mission is to consult the Montrealers on some issues. That's the main mission. And that's why, you know, at a certain point when we were in front of these revelations, we didn't have a choice but to call for the ex-president, the president today, and the general secretary to resign from their positions.
So are you saying that the grift happened basically after Ensemble Montreal lost the election? Are you saying that that's when the bad stuff really happened, once you guys were out of power?
You know, the $17,000 that we saw in the revelations, it was for 4 years.
Yeah.
It was 16, 17, 18, and 19. And out of this money, there's $5,340 only in 2019, where Mrs. Plante was there.
Mm-hmm. What about the current president of the OCPM? Because I'm looking at Isabelle Beaulieu's record here, and of course there's reporting this morning on that, and it to be honest, it looks even worse. $900 for basically the most expensive pair of consumer headphones that are on the market, the Apple AirPods, whatever they're called, the Max, $900 just for headphones, $20,000 for 3 TV screens because she had to do 85-inch, couldn't make do with a 55-inch. The amount of money spent on office chairs and office furniture, I think it's $1,000 for a chair and $50,000 overall, $15,000 of Apple products in just the last 2 years. What would you say about the current president? Isn't this even worse than Madame Olivier?
That's why, on last Friday, I asked the Verificatrice General, General Auditor of the city, to take a look and see what's going on in this office. It's unacceptable when we're giving the whole 100% of the budget of this office and see the way it's spent. There is accountability, there is a moral responsibility and ethical responsibility which we didn't see, neither with the past president nor with the president right now. And just by the time we're talking today, yesterday we heard that the president of the OCPM, she decided to stop all the travels. The general secretary of the office is today in Rio de Janeiro. At a certain point, there's so many things that happens that needs to be clarified on morally, on ethically, and on accountability, and that's what we're looking for. When we ask the Mayor Plante to resign Mrs. Olivier from her position, and we ask Mrs. Beaulieu and Grenier to resign by themselves, because they went really too far on spending the taxpayers' money the way it shouldn't be spent.
Should you, City Council, can you is this possible? Can you present a motion to slash the budget? Because it certainly seems like they don't deserve this $3 million budget they get every year. Why not put up a motion that says we're going to slash half of your budget based on your egregious expense accounts?
Elias, the mission of the organization, it's really noble. It's really we have to have someone there. Because you remember about Camillien Wood? Mm-hmm. This organization, they did the public consultation. Mrs. Olivier, she was there to listen to 10,000 people when they went there. And the first recommendation, which, we know what the population wants. And the first recommendation was back there to keep Camillien Wood open. Except, the mayor, she took another decision, but this is something else. Mm-hmm. This organization should stay, and she has really a great mission. But we need to stick to our mission, spend the money to the mission, and not going traveling all over the world, spending the money with ex-business partners. And, this is something, it's really unacceptable. And this pushes us as in a position to think, is she the person that she should be responsible for our taxpayers? Just to remind you, 3 weeks ago, she asked the services at the city to cut $150 million. 2 weeks before, she was giving $6 million bonuses for the cadre of the city of Montreal for the second time this year. So when you look at the trend, you see, there is something wrong there. Mm-hmm. And is it the person that she is responsible to manage the taxpayers' money at the city of Montreal? You remember last year we had the highest increase in a decade, 4.1% in taxpayers last year.
No, listen, a point taken, right? We're all looking at expenses go up and taxes go up because of that. And I think a lot of Montrealers are asking for the expenses to be reined in. We're with Aref Salem, a leader of Ensemble Montreal. Mr. Salem, before I have to let you go, I want to get your take on one more issue. And I want to take you to Saturday in this city. On Saturday, there was it's called a pro-Palestinian rally. We saw thousands of people gather in downtown Montreal. At one point, we saw Quebec Imam Adil Sharkawi riling up thousands in front of Place des Arts. And I'll just read you a bit of what he said. God, destroy the arrogant Zionists. God, count every one of them. Kill them all. And do not exempt even one of them. God, bring upon them a black day. Many people are saying that this is hate speech and should not be allowed at protests in the streets of the city of Montreal. You're the leader of the official opposition. I got to say, I haven't heard anything from the mayor either on this subject. What do you have to say about it?
There is no place for hate in Montreal. It's a peaceful city, and we want to keep it a peaceful city. We live all in a peace and harmony in the city, and we're allowed to give our opinion. There is no doubt about it. But there is no place for hatred in Montreal. There is no place other than peace in Montreal. The
thousands of people that assembled and were vocal in their support of what I just read you, were those peaceful people?
Well, basically, for sure, some of them, they're peaceful people. Well, most of them are peaceful people. In Montreal, we didn't see any act of violence until now, which is good, and hopefully we can continue that way. And that's what we should prone as elected officials. We should prone the peace. we should prone there's no place for hatred in any place in Montreal.
So I just want to reiterate this. I want to get your point on this. So if an imam says destroy the arrogant Zionists, count every one of them, kill them all, the people that were voicing approval when that happened, some of them are actually peaceful?
No, what I'm saying is this speech, there's no place for that kind of speech in the city of Montreal. That's for sure. We're not someone who's asking someone else to kill another person. There's no place for that kind of speeches in the city. That's for sure.
And if people in this crowd, because I want people to hear, if people were in this crowd and they were responding affirmatively, positively to those sentiments, that's hateful.
That's hateful for sure. Okay. That's hateful.
Perfect. Great.
Anyone who goes, who goes and he speaks the way that was spoken. There is no place for him in Montreal. There's place for peace in Montreal. We're trying really hard to keep this city in a peaceful way, to live together. We choose to be here to live together, and we're going to continue to live together peacefully. There is no place for hatred in Montreal, that's for sure.
Should the mayor be doing more on this?
Well, sure. Hopefully she will do better.
We've got to leave it there. Mr. Salem, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, Elias.
Aref Salem is the leader of Ensemble Montreal.